Excuse me.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Tajahau, welcome. So, hello UTMians, how are you today? And of course, feel good? Yeah, like why not? Then for all the Muslims, I hope today you're fasting because today's Ramadan, right? And I hope all of you are healthy as always. Before we continue, welcome to the School of Computing second webinar with the title "Get the Most Your FYP and Internship During COVID-19 Pandemic." Well, to be honest, this topic is very exciting to me because I think this is the mostly on the third and the fourth year, right? You want to feel this one because we feel it right now. And of course, for the first and second year, you're really excited and you curious about what happened for the next year where you will be in. So yeah, we can see in lovely webinar in here. Well, I'm so excited, of course, same as me. And next also, okay, I forgot to introduce myself first. So my name is Faik Fajri Fauzan, and I am Scholar Computing, software engineering. I'm currently right now it's the year, and I'm also a representative from Scholar Computing, and as well as my position and job in SRC is International Relation and Corporate Affairs, and I'm also international student. I'm from Indonesia, so yeah. Well, mostly my job is about public relation and social media and kind of it. Okay, moving on. So next is about uh, introduction for panelists, of course. So I beg all of you questioning why this topic is being highlighted for the webinar. Well, due to this pandemic COVID-19, of course, we have to adapt for new norm of life. And then I will try to introduce next who is our finalist for this webinar. Well, we already have our great people from two lecture and two students from Scholar Computing. So let me introduce. So here are series our first panelist. We have Yap Sin Yi, senior student from Bachelor of Computer Science, Bioinformatics. Hello, Yap Sin Yi.
Hi.
Okay, she is also a student representative council of UTM for the last session also. And then next we have Miss Hazina Kutimami, for the final year project coordinator, School of Computing. Hello, Miss Hazina, how are you?
Hello, everyone. I am good. Thank you.
Anytime, Miss Hazina. Okay, next we have Dr. Norfa Hazlina Mustafa from Industrial Training Coordinator, School of Computing. Hello, Dr. Norfa, how are you?
Hi everyone, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, and for the last one is we have Fan Jiaoshe, professional student, Bachelor of Computer Science, Data Engineering, and is currently internship at Top Glove Corporation Berhad in Selangor. Hello, Jen. Hello, Jiao.
Hello.
Yeah, for your information, data engineering is like one of the program 2U to I, which means
Yeah,
2 years university and 2 years internship. That we have
right.
only two. It is which is bioinformatics and data engineering in Scholar Computing. Okay, before we start, um, I would like to all of you to invite to post any question, any comments or suggestion that you want to give to our panelists. You can write in the comment and then section on the webinar today in the comment below. Since MCO start in the 18 March 2020, right, most of students are working from home and some of them in the campus. Well, they cannot meet the supervisor on the campus, they cannot do the job at the school, and it's really hate me a lot. And because I'm also the one who always study at school, and I also meet my friend, my lecturer, and most student routines has been changed, of course. So you have been working with your FYP for almost 7 weeks. FYP stands for Final Year Project, or in Malaysian we call that as a Project Sarjana Muda. That how do you find the challenges in doing FYP from home, not physically in the campus? Is there any concern that you want to share with your friends?
Yeah, so exactly because time flies and due to COVID-19, we have been following online teaching and learning for more than 1 month. So during the MCO period, our final year project calendar has been adjusted to give us more time to complete the final year project at home. And to answer the first question, how do you find the challenges in doing the FIP from home? For me, at first, the biggest challenge is the internet connection issues. since I totally rely on the limited mobile data plan. But then that has been resolved because I got the free unlimited data plan from Unify, and I heard that UTM is providing free internet for the B40 student for the upcoming 2 months. So I think the internet connection problem is no longer a challenge. For other friends who are still facing internet problems, do voice out. I think other panels here and even UTM, they are ready to help us. And other than the internet issue, I think the next bigger challenge is to communicate with supervisor about the PSM and how to keep the momentum to do the PSM. Um, is it okay if I share my way to keep myself working, or I should say, force myself to work on PSM?
Yeah, it's up to you lah.
So I have three important practices to keep the ball rolling. The first one is I fix meeting time with my supervisor. So I have set a weekly online meeting with my supervisor, Dr. Chan, and do discussion using Webex video call tools. So during the online meeting, I can easily share my screen and show the coding and result with my supervisor. So this weekly meeting somehow forces me must have even a little progress on my PSM so that I can update my project with supervisor during the online meeting. And the second is utilize the online resources. For example, initially I did my coding on my local computer, but for easier sharing, I moved all my coding to Google Colab, which is an online Jupyter notebook that we can write and run our code in Python or R. So this is quite useful for the students who are doing research-based project. For those who are working on development-based project, you can consider free web hosting or using the resources from UTM CICT. I think there are many other useful resources that we can utilize to ease our works. And all it takes is our own effort to search and ask around. And the third one is collect all works at one place. This one I actually refer to the suggestions from Miss Hazina, because they say it's better to collect one. Maybe you can create website or blog. So I created a website to collect all the important documents, including those I did in PSM1, and then the presentation slide, logbook, or that in at the website, so that my coordinator, supervisor, and me myself can easily find the latest document and refer them at any time we want. And so basically, that's the three practices that I'm doing to keep the momentum of doing PSM from home. The keyword here is proactive. I think the biggest challenge is to keep on motivating ourselves in terms of proactively doing our FYP, since there are many distractions at home. Well, for the second question, you were asking, is there any concern that I want to share on behalf of my friends? Previously, I did a quick survey among the students who are doing FYP now, and the students who responded mostly are very happy with the decisions made by the PSM committee. But to highlight our most concerning part, Ms. Hazina, our most concerning part is what about the final presentation and the document submissions? So, because so far we are not sure what is the final decisions for that. And I hope later Ms. Hazina will explain in detail about this. Anyhow, there are few suggestions and questions from the student regarding the PSM, but I will leave it for the student themselves to ask their question in the comment sections. So we wait for the questions from the viewers, and meanwhile, I pass back the stage to our moderator, Faik.
Okay, thank you for our sister Yapsinyi for your lovely answer. And then let's move on to the Miss Hazina. So Miss Hazina, after listening to the challenges that given by Yapsinyi, how this new norm has affected the implementation of final year project?
Thank you very much, Faik. Now, the most prominent or the most biggest change is that there is no physical meetings anymore and everything is online. So that's the biggest thing. And also, some find that they have their own set of flow. Before this, when you were in campus, you were with your friends and your friends would come back and say, "Oh, I went and talked to my supervisor. I submitted chapter 2 today." And you are thinking, "Oh my god, I haven't done it yet." But when you are at home, there's only one person doing PSM, and that's you. So you have to create that flow, okay? You have to make sure that you progress. Now, if I were to give an advice to student, for this flow, have a regular mama session online with your friends. Sit down, talk about what you did in PSM, what they did, what you have, what they don't have. And then, you have the same experiences you have to share. Because I am very sure nobody else in your house is doing PSM right now. Okay. And at home, you have to do chores. Recently, I did a survey, and one of the PSM students wrote that at home they have to do chores, so they don't have time. Well, that is the new norm. You will be at a place where you have to adjust. And I would suggest that everyone plan their work. Now, another change would be the meeting between your supervisor and you. Previously, while in campus, most of you would like stop by your supervisor's room in between classes, before you go back for the day. Just knock on the door and say, "Hi, can I talk to you?" But now you have to make a concerted effort to talk to your supervisor. Sinyi did a very good job. Make an appointment, sit down, talk to your supervisor. Some students, they cannot go without looking at their supervisor's face. Have a video chat. Okay. Some people are okay. They just chat with your supervisor, and they are fine. Another important thing about this MCO is the are the students who are not independent. Okay, some students are like a chisel and a hammer. You have to knock them and then they do something. Knock them again and then they move. Knock them again and then they move. These students have the biggest problem right now because there's nobody to knock them down. Especially if these students they don't communicate with the supervisor. Do something. Knock them again and then they move. Knock them again and then they move. Okay, my voice is like coming back and very slow. Okay? So those who are less independent, you would have to find that motivation in you to do this. Another thing is your supervisor. When the start of the MCO, we all have to okay, now do online classes. So we have to do activities and videos and everything. And while you're doing that, videos don't take 5 minutes to make. It takes some time. And because we spend so much time in there, some of the PSM students feel like they are being abandoned by their supervisor. Okay, so you have to be proactive, like Sinyi said. You have to be proactive. You have to tell your supervisor, "I need help. Can you help me? I have a question. Can you please answer that? I'm confused. Can you please help?" Okay, so it is not a problem. Now, what does this new norm means? As a PSM student, I would say the new norm means you have to plan your work. You have to plan your life. Okay, when do you have breakfast? When do you do PSM? When do you play with your brother? Okay, when do you help your mom to cook? All that. Have a plan and work within that boundaries. If it's lunchtime, your mom needs help because she is also working online, help her out. Plan your time. Be more independent. Explore more. Don't wait for people to tell you what to do. Explore other things, other venues, other possibilities, other resources. Okay? Again, have a mama session with your friends. That is very good. That is one way for you to alleviate stress. Okay? I have stress also. I have mama sessions with my friends. We talk about what are you cooking today and all that kind of stuff. De-stress. We are all at the basis are human beings. Okay? And then you have to be positive. I am Muslim, duh, and I believe so much that God will not put you somewhere where you cannot survive. If you are here, that means you can go through this. You have the strength, the ability to go through this. You just have to do it. Be positive and use technology wisely. Sini gave a few examples which are excellent examples. Use technology wisely. Okay? Some of you are saying my eyes are tired because I'm looking at the computer more. Well, if you think back before, you were like playing Mobile Legends and whatever else you guys are playing. Your eyes are okay then. So some sacrifices have to be made. Okay? Be alert. Things change, you before this you can move, now you cannot move out. Before this, there are a lot of things change. Be alert. Now coming back to your worries about the submissions and everything and dates, as JKPSM, what we have been trying to do, we have put every information online. Okay, the new calendar is on the PSM website, and I don't know if you noticed, but there is also a PSM guideline during MCO on the website. I believe it's called, hold on, you can go to the website under calendar, and then it will tell you, some guidelines, and that was posted in April, and today I posted the new one. Okay, and if you have any question, ask your supervisor or ask your JKPSM for every program, or worst come to worst, ask me. Okay, I will answer them for you. So should I go on with the submission of thesis directly? May I?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So most of you are worried about how presentation is going to be done, how are you going to submit. Now, if you remember, during our briefing session, I said that every PSM one student must provide a video on presentation and also reflection. And PSM 2 student must provide a video on presentation and another video on demo. These two videos you will submit together with your thesis in e-copy, of course, when depending on the date. The date is in the calendar. So once you submit that, your evaluators will be given your report and the videos, and they will look at that, and then and all presentation is done online depending on the best application you can. So if your network connection is good, it might be on WebEx. If your network connection is not so good, it might be on WhatsApp, depending on how good your connection is. And we will try as best as we can to apply and give you the best possible way. So forms are still needed to be endorsed. Okay, because if your supervisor don't endorse you to present, then you cannot present. But I will devise a way for you to submit forms in a simpler way. And it is dictated and sorry, it is listed in the guideline in PSM website. So this video submit online, and then the final hardbound thesis for PSM2. Previously, if you don't submit the hardbound, you get tidak selesai or unfinished. But UTM now has given you a relaxation on that rule for this semester, that you only have to submit a soft copy. So the JKPSM will provide a link for you in e-learning and also in G Drive for you to submit your corrected and reviewed thesis. And that will be considered your hardbound copy. Um, I think I should. Oh, one more thing. I totally forgot. When you are doing your presentation, even though you are at home, please dress appropriately. Okay? It is still a formal presentation. All right. That is all for now. But if there is any other question, I will answer them. Back to you, Faik.
Okay, thank you, Miss Athena, for your detailed answer. Because to be honest, I think I also have trouble connection in my internet. So I think the concept is flexibility because we have to know exactly when the internet good, then we can use webcam. If not good, we can use WhatsApp. So flexibility is very important to MCO right now. Okay, next question is still to Miss Azina. I
Mhm.
think Miss Azina, what is the most important things that student will be worried of when doing the FYP or the Wi-Fi session? Like because we presentation and also the submission of the thesis. Can Miss Azina explain how these two activities will be done during this situation of the pandemic?
Okay. Presentation will be done online. So roughly, what we will do is you will get your presentation schedule, right? And then there will be a group will be created with you and the two evaluators in there. So you present your work. For example, if you have bad or low connectivity, then the evaluators will look at your video and read your thesis, and then in the chat just ask you question and you answer. Okay, so there will be a question and answer session. So every group would have two evaluators and a student, and you have to present. Whether synchronously, meaning you present and we are looking at you like we are doing now, or asynchronously, whereby you just chat. Okay, so we will try to help you guys out the best that we can. But I would suggest to student, because you know when the presentation is going to be, make sure that your data is up to date. Okay, don't have like another, like, 5 minutes of data and then suddenly all go plan. Right. So presentation will be done either using WhatsApp or Zoom or WebEx or whatever it is. So student, please make sure you have enough data. And also, please get cooperation from your family. Tell your family, this day, this time, I'm going to have a presentation for PSM. So, could you please take my little brother to do something else in another room so that he won't cry when I am doing my PSM presentation? So, just plan those things. And that is basically it. The other stuff I have talked about before, about the videos and all that. Back to you, Faik.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Salvina, for the explanation of the Viva. I think the for now is the Viva is mostly we doing online, right? Okay, next we move on to the industrial training. So in this pandemic, or during this pandemic, right? It will the pandemic in the Malaysia and all around the world will be affected that from also in it will be affected that including industry sector that indirectly affecting us as a university student who want to do industrial training during this pandemic. For those who are currently watching this webinar and not from the School of Computing, we, the student, like me, is that we will need to do our industrial training during our first semester on the fourth year, which is usually starts from September on the end of January of the following year. But I think for another school, they doing during the May on the term break. But well, in the UTM already announced that new academic calendar that will affect to all academic activities, and one of them is industrial training period. So we have already in here Dr. Norfa. So Dr. Norfa, how the internship application and the management it is changing during this COVID-19 pandemic?
Okay, thank you very much, Faik. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good afternoon for all the viewers. Okay, so as Faik mentioned, the internship for the SC student will be a bit different compared to the other school in the Faculty of Engineering. Basically, the minimum duration of the internship is 20 weeks. Okay, at the organization that during September until January. However, during this pandemic, so we have a new academic calendar. So for the next batch student, so the internship will be starting from 4th of October. Okay, 4th of October until 18th of February. Okay, still 20 weeks. Okay, that's for the Johor, Kelantan and Kedah state. And for the other state, we're starting from 5th of October. And we have to U2I student, then they will have 1 year in industry, then the internship will be until 9th of July 2021. Okay, so basically this is the time for student for the pre-industrial training phases. So the briefing has been conducted at the beginning of the semester and student already start to find their placement since February 2020. So basically, most of the placement process, including the verification of the new application and the submission of application, the monitoring of the status of application, all via email and the system. So we have the ITS system, industrial training system. So I can say that COVID-19 pandemic did not change much in terms for the internal placement process. Okay, so the internal process can be carried out during the COVID pandemic, except the student verification now is sent electronically to the student instead of the hard copy version. Previously, we student need to collect the hard copy version at the academic office, but now the student can receive the electronic copies, through the email. Okay, however, during this MCO period, students are start feeling worried about their application status. Okay, because students did not get feedback from the company, and also some of the students get rejected. Okay, because some of the company have begun freeze or suspend the recruitment activity, even cancel the internship program. Okay, at the organization. Okay, so the committee. Okay, so a committee always communicate with the student in order to make sure that the student make a survey first. Okay, make a survey before they apply. Proceed with the application of the application to the committee. Okay, to increase the chances of the acceptance. So they need to survey the availability of the uh, ability of the whether the company offer the internship or not during the period October until February. Okay, so because some of the company freeze the recruitment, and some company are still continuing the activity recruit even though they are working from home. Okay, so some of the student already get accepted with good offer from the industry. And also, students are advised to survey the scope of the project offered by the company in order to make sure that the project suitable, okay, for the degree computer science student. Okay, so that they don't have problem during the internship duration. Okay, student also need to follow up. Okay, in the case that they don't heard anything from the company, so they need to follow up with the company. Okay, so need to follow up with a polite email. Okay, with the polite email, a formal email to reiterate that they still interested. Okay, to apply for the internship. Okay, so in the case that they still not get any response, okay, from the company, student need to withdraw the application. Okay, so student can apply the official withdrawal letter, okay, sent to the company, and then you need to CC to the committee. Okay, CC to the committee so that we can change the status of your application. Okay, then student can start for a new application, okay, to the new company. And we have for the internet student, okay, that have returned back to their home country because due to the pandemic, some of the students have returned back to their country, so they are allowed to do the internship at their home country, but it's subject to the approval by the committee, okay, by the committee of school of computing, in order to make sure that they choose a appropriate company. Okay, so we need to check the profile of the company, the background of the company, before we allow them to do the internship. Okay, so the period of the placement is now extended until 26th of June. Okay, so still have about 1 month. Okay, to give opportunity for student to have another cycle of application. Okay, in case they get rejected or if they want to withdraw from the previous application. Okay, so we hope that students do not panic. Okay, stay optimistic and keep trying to find the placement. Okay, and also students need to keep update. Okay, regarding the opportunity of internship from the industrial training website. So we have the industrial training website, and also the info also being shared via the WhatsApp group. So we have WhatsApp group for each program. Okay, so you need to refer to the committee. And also, we hope that with the reopening of the economic sector now, okay, in the conditional movement control period, so there will be more acceptance of the industrial training placement received by the student, okay, at this time. And if student have problem, some issue, okay, then student can consult with the committee of industrial training committee, and also we have the respective committee for each program. Please do not consult, please not refer to the Mr. Abdullah. Okay, please refer to the committee of industrial training. Okay, the committee will cater the issue case by case. Okay, so I hope it's clear. Okay, so student need to be proactive, and then make sure that you survey the company first before proceed with the application. Okay, back to you, Faik.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Norfa, for your answer. So again, Dr. Norfa, because we know that our lifestyle is not going to be the same again. We know we have the new form norm in our life because, and then some of the companies will be fully operated as usual, and some of them might be still implementing work from home. So what? How about our students? Like how we as students, how they are going to do in their industrial training?
Okay, so different company have different policy. Okay, so UTM have come up with the specialized guideline. Okay, for the affected internship student. Okay, during the MCO. So students should need to comply with the policy of the industry. Okay, so company have different policy, and student need to follow the instruction issued by the company. Okay, so now we have 2U2I student that undergoing industrial training, and 80% of the student are working from home. Okay, and only 6 student, okay, working partially work from home because they have a rotation schedule. Okay, as required by the company, because the company is the under the category of essential services, and Jashu basically is among them. Okay, so basically maybe Jashu will give the share the experience during the MCO period. And then therefore, since the company have different policy, so we advise students to identify the mode of internship offered by the company. Okay, before they start the internship, because they need to identify whether the company offer for the work from home or need to come physical to the office, or they apply for the both mode. Okay, so we need the information. So please inform the committee regarding the mode of internship. Okay, because we need to monitor the student. Okay, throughout the internship period, and also the student also need this kind of information for them to prepare themselves. Okay, so in case they need to work from home, so then a student can prepare mentally, so they need to work independently, and then student need to be proactive to get support, and also student need to schedule their time, okay, between the personal and also how they can meet the requirement, the project set by the company. And also one thing, the internet connection. Okay, if student need to work from home, student need to make sure they have a good connection at home. Okay, so far we receive positive feedback from the company in terms of the performance of the student that work from home, and also student give positive feedback. They have advantages in terms of they can save money, and also they save time. Okay, they don't have to rush to go to the office again. And then for the assessment, okay, assessment still can be carried out. Okay, and using the video conferencing, and the external examiner, the coach of industry, and the student also can discuss together during the video conferencing. And in the case that student need to come physically to the office, and I hope that students should not worry about their safety. Okay, since the industry must comply with the SOP. Okay, so our government already have the standard of procedure for the industry. Okay, thank you, Faik. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Norfa, for the answer. So I think the concept still the same. You have to be flexibility and always ready for whatever the policy will be get on the later on. Okay, next we move on to the fun Joe show. Hello, fun. Hello,
Hello.
Josh. Okay, so sorry if I'm saying the wrong one. So next question is I would like to asking. We know that you are currently doing your internship in the Top Glove, a leading manufacturer of disposal rubber glove, and it has been almost 9 months since you started your internship. Maybe can you share your experience working in the company before our country been hit with COVID-19 and the current situation?
Okay, thank you, Fai. I would say Top Glove is a disposable glove company, and the experience in the company will be very different from what I actually experienced in university. Because in industrial training, we are actually placed in a real world industry instead of like we are doing assignments and homework in university. So it's a very different experience, and we need to really follow and cope with the situation. So we need to adapt with the situation of the company. And then it's a very different experience when we really need to go to work instead of we just like go to lectures in universities. So I would say it's a very new experience, and it's a very challenging experience for me. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So it's very challenge, right, as an internship student. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for your answer, Joshua. So we can move on to the next is about question and answer. So and of course, as the university, I think I will take the answer conclusion first for all our panelists because our conclusion to be a university student that we have our own challenges for every company that we apply for. So we don't ever give up to apply for whatever company that we want to get in. Okay, let's move on to the next question and answer on Facebook. Okay, well, let's see. The Do we have answer question yet? I think we have a lot of question. So I think before we waiting for the Q&A session, so Joshua, exactly for your internship, is it really different from? So what you expecting for the internship for the next, for like see for after the MCO, do you still be working from home or like still in working on the office? Do you
Okay,
understand what
but
I'm asking,
yeah,
right?
yeah, I understand you. Thank you, Faik. So after the MCO period, the internship students are actually affected a lot, especially for those that actually fully work from home. And then because for some industry, and then like UITM, they will even stop their internship, and then if they will extend their internship. So in this case, it will also delay the timeline of university, which is actually most of the students don't want expel. So as for Top Glove, because Top Glove is a essential company that actually manufacture healthcare product, that the product is actually essential for doctors, nurses to carry on their daily operation to save people. So the supply must be enough, and it cannot be. Uh, I mean the supply must be be constant. That's why for Top Glove we actually go through a rotation. That means one day we'll be working in office, and then another day we'll be working from home. This is because to follow to follow the government policy that we had to cut down the employees numbers to half. But even though the number of employee has been cut down, still the company will operate in 100% to keep with the demand. Okay, then I will say there will be pros and cons in this working from home experience. One of the best thing with work from home is with the flexibility. You can now decide, okay, the time for you to work, even though company will also set the time for you, but instead of that, you already have more flexibility. Like you can wake up a little bit late in the morning because you don't have to rush to the office, and then also, yeah, you can stay more focused in at home because you can stay more refreshed. I would say you stay fresh. Like when you feel tired, you can go to let yourself relaxing shower, then you will be more focused. But I will say the challenging part is you need to be really focused during the work from home because there will be a lot of distractions like your friends, your families, especially those that really work from home. Because currently for me is actually I work from hostel, so not really from home, but still not working in the office. But for those work from home, there will be distractions, especially families, because sometimes I can listen uh, my mentors and also supervisors that actually through the meetings I can hear the voice of kids playing around, so it will really be distracted. But for in hostel, the most toughest things that I need to take care is my own meals because meals that it is very difficult for me to get food supplies. Like because most restaurants are actually not open, even though it is should be able to take away, but some choose not to open the restaurants for the safety. Okay, then this is one of the challenging part that it is better if you cook your own meals because you're already at home, and then also we need to keep ourselves stay healthy because once we stay healthy, only we can keep with the requirement of the company. Even though it's work from home, companies still have their operation ongoing. So we need to still working 100% to keep the operation work smoothly. Yeah. And then another thing is uh we need another thing is company will provide a lot of other precautions for us to keep us safe. Like the mask is actually provided by a company. So the face mask will be provided throughout the MCO period to keep employees safe. And then also social distancing will be practiced by company. Like during the leave, there will be boxes that you have to stand in within the boxes so that you won't be too close with each other. And also at the pantry, there will be a little bit of social distancing. Yeah, that's the difference.
Okay, thank you. I think it's really. I think I when I what I hear is very exciting to work from home. So I cannot wait to work at home forever in my home. So I can just like wake up in the morning from the bed and then sit under my bed and then work it in my laptop and I sleep again and then wake up again and study and then I do it every day. I think it's very exciting for me for 1 year. But don't be like me lah. I'm very lazy student, so don't ever following me. Okay, I think we can move on for the next question and answer. And by the way, thank you for answer, Joshua. Okay, next we have a question from Aryan Arifin. I think I should translate to English, right? Because it's in the Malay or Indonesian. Same lah. Okay, Assalamualaikum. Saya saat ini sedang menunggu visa di MGS. Status visa saya masih 35%. Apakah pendaftaran saya diundur sampai visa selesai atau bagaimana? Terima kasih. Okay, actually Ardian Arifin asking that he's waiting his visa on the MGS and his current status is 35%. So what he should do, he should be wait until it finish or what? So I think for your answer, Mr. Ardian Arif, you can refer for the UTM International. In UTM International, they have a special hotline for you, which COVID hotline at gmail.com, if I'm not mistaken. You can searching on the Google also on the Facebook UTM International for detailed information for EMGS status visa. I hope that I can answer your question. Okay. Thank you. And let's move on to the next question. Okay, we have question from F Flying Fish. Oh, fish can be flying right now. Okay, I have question to Miss Hazina. I'm having an issue regarding to on getting the dataset for my final year project. My dataset is patient information for my client's clinic, which is bound to ethics. Therefore, in order to get the dataset, the client requests my school to provide an appointment letter. This letter is aiming to appoint her as co-supervisor of my FYP project so she can represent us to present in ethics for requesting the dataset. Wow. Where I know what is the procedure in the order to get this appointment.
Appointment.
appointment. Okay, I think it can be answer, Miss Azina. Please welcome, Miss.
Okay. Um, it's kind of funny. I'm just going to call her Flying Fish. Okay, Flying Fish. The thing is that to we can actually appoint somebody to be a co-supervisor, but they must follow certain guidelines. And I am aware of your situation, and I have been talking with your supervisors regarding this thing. Right now is we are looking at, because the supervisor or the co-supervisor is from another university, so there are things that have to be discussed, for example intellectual property and all that. So it is being discussed right now. So how to get the appointment letter? You have already done the process. You have talked to your supervisor have talked to me, and we are now processing it. So don't worry so much about it. Inshallah, it will be handled very soon. Okay.
Okay,
Faik?
thank you, Miss Azina, for the answer. Okay, I think flying fish. When flying fish, you can know the answer. Okay, it is very nice name. Okay, next we have Yin Yi Lao. I have a question for the demo station. As we also need to demo online, can we use pre-record video? Okay, I think it can be answered by Miss Azina. Is it about YP, right? Okay, Miss Azina,
Yes,
please.
Yeah,
yes,
this
for
is
FYP.
FYP. Okay, Yin Yi, Yin Yi. Okay, so this is it. As I mentioned just now, yes, you have to submit a pre-recorded video together with your report. Then these videos and the report will be given to the evaluator for them to see beforehand. If during the presentation they want to see something that maybe you haven't showed in your video, or they are curious about, they can ask you to do that. So my advice to all the PSM students would be, when you do this demo video, make sure you show everything pertinent, everything important about your project. Don't leave something out. Okay? So yes, you do have to do that. It is a pre-recorded video that you have to submit. Thank you.
Miss Hazina, just to clarify, so
Uh-huh.
actually we will submit the pre-recorded video, and then
Hmm.
during the online meeting with examiner and also only examiners, right? So during the online meeting with examiner, we only need to answer the questions, or we actually need to demo and then Q&A sessions.
Preferably, this is preferably, your video is clear enough, your presentation video is clear, your demo video is clear, and your thesis is very good, that the evaluators feel that they only have to ask you question in that session. So it will be just question and answers. But let's say your video is not very clear, or they have questions about your system or your research experiment, then they can ask you to show them something. Okay,
Mm,
I understand that that might pose a problem in the sense that when you are doing a live session, your network might not be the most stellar, the most, the best. So my advice to all PSM students, when you do the video, put some thought into it, plan it, and do a very good video. That way we can reduce the time for presentation.
mm.
Okay.
Thank you, Miss Hazina.
Thank you, Miss Azina, for the answering. So I hope you can answer that in your Lao. So next we have Yang Kong Tan. Right. Okay. Yong Kong Tang. Does School of Computing provide any sponsorship for those students who plan to use cloud technologies such as GCP and AWS, excluding the existing free tier package? Um,
I think this
I
is
think
PSM.
okay. I
Yes,
think
yes.
Peter, Peter Dina, please.
Yeah. One, we don't have any sponsorship for that. If you need to do that, you have to discuss with your supervisor in the need to use the non-free packages. Okay, your supervisor would help you out with that. I'm sure those things are not as expensive. I don't know how expensive everything would be, but No, the school does not provide sponsorship. You have to talk to your supervisor. Okay? Ask your supervisor for sponsorship. Thank you.
Okay, I think we are very clear, Yong Gong Tan. Ask your supervisor. Okay, next we have a question from Aina Afifa. I have question to Dr. Norfa about internship. That you said in previous that we still have to another 1 month to search for the company. What will happen if we still did not manage to get any company do some situation in the time given?
Okay, thank you, Aina, Afifah, for the question. Okay, so that's why I highlight. Okay, we have about 1 month for those who didn't heard anything from the company. Okay, you need to follow up with the company, with the industry, and if still no response from the company, it's better you sorry, better you withdraw your application. Okay, so do not waste your time. Okay, so you have to you cannot apply two company at one time, so then use the opportunity that provide to the student. Okay, so survey, you need to do the survey first, survey for the company that have the vacancy. Okay, the vacancy for the internship, so it will increase the acceptance rate for the student. Okay, so the committee will monitor. Okay, will monitor the progress of the student time by time. Okay, to make sure that we will check for the student that we still pending, we still did not do anything, or still in the status of uh, not acceptance. Okay, so we will contact the student, and then please aware with the we advertise the opportunity for those the company who asking for the student, and then you can try to apply to that company. Okay, after 26th of June, in the case that you still not get the internship, okay, so we will look at the status, okay, the acceptance rate for the student. Okay, anything we will need to discuss with the school level, with the academic committee of academic at the school level. So then we will let the student know what's the decision.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Norfa, for the answering question. I hope Aina Afifa I can get the answer. Next, we have question from Shuraik Ezuddin. So this is question for Jasha. Jasha, how is your experience of doing FYP during internship? So please, Jia to answer.
Okay. Uh, During internship, there you will be hardly have time for doing FYP, I would say, because after work you will be very tiring, you will be exhausted that you don't even have the I'll say you don't have you have even you have a short time to do it, but don't have the you can't even focus for FYP. What you want to do is
I'm sorry,
actually
I think
just
you can speak more louder. I think the audience cannot hear. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
So
louder.
uh so after you actually shower, what you want to do is you just lie down and then surf the web, and then you want to sleep because you really don't have the energy to do it anymore. So especially for 2U2I students, my advice is just to start earlier, because once you start earlier, you have the weekend time to do. Because weekend is the only time you can do your FYP. The rest of the time you will have no energy left. I will say during FYP, during internship, is a very tough time for me, and I also struggled for that. And it is very important for you to plan your time well. So just start earlier. That's my advice.
Okay. Okay, thank you for the answer, Josh. So I think start earlier will be the best, right? So you wake up in the morning, study from home, you study from your bed. I think it's very good recommendation. Do you have another question? Okay, I think we don't have any question left. So that's all for today. So, what is the conclusion for what we have been through? So, that first about the final year project. For the final year project is a part of the new norm because we have to be initiative, be proactive, and flexibility for our own schedule. Because final year project is not about we and supervisor, but it's also about ours as student responsibility to get the result of ours what we study for all this long because like this new norm I think is very challenging, especially people like me who always like lazy wake up at 12 but don't follow me, it's very bad very bad example. And then the last point is about the internship. For the internship, the concept is the same because we observe the flexibility and we have to be aware for every company that we have known. We have to research the company, we have to asking, and we have to always email them every day about what is the company that we want to apply for. So at the end, always be optimism and hope that we get the company that we apply for and always be aware for the policy even if we have to work from home or we have to work with the office, so you have to be aware also with that. So I guess that's all the time that we have to our webinar today. Thank you for all the panelists here. Thank you Yasinyi, thank you Jasho, thank you Dr. Norva, and thank you Miss Hazina, who have willingly to spend their time to share some thoughtful advice with our dearest student. Please like and share our Facebook page and follow us for more interesting events. On behalf of all our panelists as well as the team behind the scenes, thank you for joining us today and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and goodbye. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Faiz.
Thank you.
Thank you, Faik. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.